The search for extraterrestrial intelligence has always focused on distant stars, exotic galaxies, and cosmic phenomena billions of light years away. We assumed that if alien civilizations existed, they would be so far away that contact would be impossible within human lifetimes. Our nearest stellar neighbour, Proxima Centauri, was dismissed as too hostile, too radiation-soaked, to harbour anything more complex than sterile rock. But the Breakthrough Listen project just proved we were looking in the wrong direction. In 2019, their radio telescopes detected BLC1, a signal so precisely engineered that it could only come from advanced technology. The transmission was locked to 982.002 MHz, a frequency so narrow and stable that no known natural process can produce it. The signal showed the exact frequency drift pattern of something broadcasting from a planetary surface, accounting for orbital motion with mathematical precision. Here is what makes this discovery absolutely terrifying. The signal appeared to be responding to our own transmissions. The timing, the frequency choice, the technical sophistication, everything suggested that something at Proxima Centauri had been monitoring our radio broadcasts and decided to make contact. We have been shouting into space for decades, advertising our location and technology level to anyone listening, and now we know someone was. Watch until the end to discover why this signal might be proof that first contact is not a future possibility. It has already happened, and we are just now realizing we are part of a conversation that started years ago. The Breakthrough Listen project represents humanity's most ambitious search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Funded by tech billionaire Yuri Milner and backed by Stephen Hawking, the initiative uses the world's most powerful radio telescopes to scan millions of stars for artificial signals. The Parkes Observatory in Australia, one of their primary facilities, can detect transmissions as weak as a cell phone from the nearest star system. Dr. Andrew Simeon and his team at UC Berkeley were tasked with analysing the flood of data streaming from these telescopes. They expected to find nothing but cosmic background noise, stellar interference, and the occasional satellite glitch. For years, that is exactly what they found. Radio astronomy is mostly about ruling out false positives and cataloguing the universe's natural radio emissions. But Proxima Centauri held special significance for the project. At just 4.2 light-years away, it is our closest stellar neighbour. If any nearby civilization wanted to make contact, this would be the logical staging ground. The system even hosts Proxima b, a potentially habitable planet orbiting within the star's habitable zone. In April and May 2019, during routine observations of Proxima Centauri, something extraordinary happened. The computers flagged an anomaly that would change everything. The first detection occurred on April 29, 2019, during a 26-hour observation session. The automated analysis software identified a narrowband signal at 982.002 MHz coming from the direction of Proxima Centauri. The signal lasted for several hours before disappearing. Initially, the team dismissed it as terrestrial interference. Radio telescopes are constantly bombarded by signals from satellites, cell towers, and electronic devices. The frequency was close to bands used by aircraft navigation systems. It seemed like another false alarm. But here's the catch. When they checked for the signal in other directions, it vanished. True interference appears across the entire sky. This signal was directional, coming only from Proxima Centauri's coordinates. The team ran the standard interference checks. They looked for correlations with known satellites, aircraft transponders, and ground-based transmitters. Nothing matched. The signal's characteristics were unlike any terrestrial source they had catalogued. It gets more disturbing. When they analysed the signal's frequency drift, they found something that made everyone in the lab go silent. The drift pattern matched exactly what you would expect from a transmission originating on a planetary surface, accounting for the orbital motion of Proxima b. Dr. Sophia Sheikh, the postdoctoral researcher who first analysed BLC1, faced an impossible puzzle. The signal exhibited characteristics that no natural astronomical phenomenon could produce. It was incredibly narrow band, just 0.00001% of the radio spectrum, focused with laser-like precision. Natural radio sources like pulsars, quasars, and stellar flares produce broadband emissions across wide frequency ranges. They are messy, chaotic, and spread out. BLC1 was the opposite, artificially clean and precisely tuned. Here is the deal: the signal's frequency stability was so perfect that it required active correction. As a planet rotates and orbits its star, any transmission from its surface experiences Doppler shift. The frequency appears to change from the receiver's perspective. BLC1 showed this exact pattern, but the drift was so precisely calculated that it suggested the transmitter was compensating for orbital mechanics. The team spent months trying to debunk their own discovery. They analysed every possible source of interference, from military radar to microwave ovens. They checked for correlations with solar activity, cosmic ray events, and equipment malfunctions. But the signal kept defying conventional explanations. It appeared only when the telescopes were pointed at Proxima Centauri, lasted for hours at a time, and showed the mathematical precision of engineered technology. The second detection came on May 2nd, 2019, just 3 days after the first. This time the signal was stronger and lasted longer. The frequency was identical, 982.002 MHz. The drift pattern was consistent with the previous observation. 2 detections could be coincidence, but the timing was suspicious. Both signals appeared during periods when Earth would be visible from Proxima Centauri's perspective, accounting for the orbital positions of both planets. But here is what made the discovery genuinely terrifying. The signal timing coincided with humanity's most powerful radio transmissions. The Arecibo Observatory had been conducting radar observations of near-Earth asteroids, beaming powerful signals into space. The BLC1 detections occurred within days of these transmissions. The correlation was so precise that it suggested something at Proxima Centauri was monitoring our radio emissions and responding to them. This was not random cosmic chatter. This was targeted communication from something that knew exactly when and where to transmit for maximum detection probability. The implications sent shockwaves through the SETI community. If the signal was real, it meant a technological civilization existed just 4.2 light years away, close enough to monitor our development and sophisticated enough to time their responses to our activities. The Parkes Observatory's radio telescope is not a toy. This 64-meter dish can detect signals as weak as 10 to the minus 26 watts per square meter. When it identified BLC1, it was not guessing. It provided a precise measurement of electromagnetic radiation from a specific point in space. To put that in perspective, detecting a narrow band signal from Proxima Centauri is like hearing a whisper from 25 trillion miles away. The signal had to be artificially generated and deliberately transmitted to be detectable at that distance. The UC Berkeley SETI Research Center confirmed the findings through multiple independent analyses. The signal was not just present in one observation. It appeared consistently across different time periods and telescope configurations. They ruled out satellite interference because the signal's apparent motion matched Proxima Centauri's position in the sky, not any known orbital trajectory. They ruled out terrestrial sources because the signal disappeared when the telescope pointed away from the star system. Dr. Sheikh analysed the signal's technical characteristics using advanced digital signal processing techniques. What she found was unprecedented in SETI research. The signal bandwidth was incredibly narrow, less than 4 Hz wide. Natural radio sources typically span thousands or millions of hertz. The frequency stability was so precise that it required active correction for Doppler effects. As Proxima b orbits its star every 11.2 days, any surface-based transmitter would experience predictable frequency shifts. BLC1 showed exactly this pattern, but with mathematical precision that suggested deliberate compensation. Dr. Andrew Simeon, the project's principal investigator, confirmed that the signal's characteristics were consistent with a techno-signature, evidence of technology. The narrow bandwidth, frequency stability, and directional specificity all pointed to an artificial origin. The team used machine learning algorithms to compare BLC1 with known interference patterns. The signal failed to match any terrestrial source in their database of over 15 million radio frequency interference events. The first suspect was radio frequency interference from human technology. SETI researchers are experts at identifying false positives, and 99.9% of candidate signals turn out to be terrestrial contamination. Satellites, aircraft, and ground-based transmitters create millions of false alarms every year, but the data showed clear contradictions. BLC1's frequency did not match any known terrestrial transmitter. The signal's apparent motion followed Proxima Centauri's celestial coordinates, not any satellite orbit. Most importantly, the signal disappeared when the telescope pointed away from the star system. With terrestrial interference ruled out, scientists had to consider more exotic possibilities. Some proposed that the signal was generated by unknown stellar phenomena, perhaps magnetic field interactions or plasma instabilities around Proxima Centauri. The most mind-bending theory is the techno-signature hypothesis. This suggests that BLC1 was deliberately transmitted by a technological civilization on or near Proxima b, specifically designed to be detectable by radio telescopes on Earth. Dr. Sheikh and her team proposed that the signal represented intentional communication from an extraterrestrial intelligence. The frequency choice, timing, and technical characteristics all suggested deliberate design for interstellar communication. But here is the catch. This theory requires accepting that a technological civilization exists just 4.2 light years away, close enough to monitor our radio emissions, and sophisticated enough to respond with precisely timed transmissions. Some researchers have proposed even more radical explanations. The signal might be evidence of a probe or automated beacon left in the Proxima Centauri system by a more distant civilization. These Bracewell probes could monitor local star systems and initiate contact when they detect emerging technologies. The implications are staggering. If BLC1 represents genuine extraterrestrial communication, it means first contact has already occurred. We are not searching for alien intelligence. We are responding to it. The BLC1 discovery proved that our assumptions about cosmic isolation were fundamentally wrong. This is not just about one anomalous signal, it is about the possibility that technological civilizations are far more common and much closer than we ever imagined. This means humanity's radio emissions have been monitored by an intelligence capable of interstellar communication. Our television broadcasts, radar transmissions, and radio signals have been advertising our location and technology level to observers who possess the capability to respond. But the question that haunts SETI researchers is deeper. If a civilization exists at our nearest stellar neighbour, how long have they been watching us? Did they observe our first radio transmissions in the early 20th century? Have they been tracking our technological development, waiting for us to become sophisticated enough for meaningful communication? So, do you think BLC1 represents genuine first contact with an extraterrestrial intelligence? Or is there an undiscovered natural phenomenon that can produce such precisely engineered radio signals? What if this detection is just the beginning of a conversation that has been waiting for us to develop the technology to participate? What if our nearest stellar neighbour has been home to a technological civilization that has been patiently monitoring our development for decades? The signal from Proxima Centauri might be evidence that we are not alone in our cosmic neighbourhood, and that our neighbours have been far more aware of us than we have been of them. If that is true, then everything we think we know about humanity's place in the universe needs to be reconsidered. Let me know your theory in the comments. If you want to keep exploring the discoveries that are rewriting our understanding of life in the universe, smash that like button and subscribe for more cosmic mysteries that challenge everything we thought we knew about our place in the cosmos.